And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Oh, Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Another great week here as we get set up to bring you flag-to-flag coverage here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's SCT Truck Series live on VSPEED. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and we've been putting together a great scene. You want to talk about points right now? Look how tight that gap is. Up front, 1 point behind Ross Phillips right now is Nick Gardner in that second position. It doesn't get much closer than that, other than a tie. We go through the schedule. Race number 5 here tonight, the VRX Simulators 175. And I'm happy to bring it to you as we talk about Las Vegas, or rather Atlanta Motor Speedway. They're all starting to blend together for me. Atlanta, repaved recently in the last year. It's high speed, high banking, wide open for the vast majority of this racetrack. And it's gonna take a lot to keep your cool and keep control and not run the guy over in front of you. You can almost consistently compare this track right now to a restrictor plate track with how you have to drive it, but much narrower on the groove. You want to think about Charlotte Motor Speedway, when you're coming out of these corners side by side, even 3 wide at some point during the night here tonight. But starting up on the pole here, as we go for your grid, it's the number 10 of Rick Fagone. The Bald Head Island Vacations Pole Award here tonight. Congratulations to the number 10 of Rick Fagone for getting that position. And speaking of Bald Head Islands, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. You need to discover Bald Head Island, just 20 minutes off of North Carolina's coast, where the Cape Fear River meets the Atlantic. Arrive by ferry and explore by golf cart. Experience nature's paradise with 14 miles of beaches, lush maritime forests, and 10,000 acres of salt marsh. Whether it's a weekend trip or longer, find your perfect vacation home at baldheadislandvacations.com. So with that out of the way, and the number 10 of Rick Fagone up towards the front, let's get down there to take your grid. Right next to the number 10, it's going to be Morgan Cook in the second position. Row number 2 is going to be Mark Math with Kai Shappard in 4th. Pit spots, Nicholas Pressey with Cody Williams in 6th, 7th position. Kevin Mulcahy with Sean Langton in 8th. Then rounding out your top 10 here tonight is Richard Holland in the number 18 with Nick Gardner in the number 16. 8th and 11th position is the 86 of John Sanu. Donald Stewart in 12th position. 13th, Justin Ritchie with Frank Zingen in 14th. 15th position belongs to Brian Headings and Kyle Stewart in 16th. Down here on the track now, Ross Phillips in 17th position. Dakota Floyd 18th. 19th, Todd Cleveland. And Jacob Daniels rounding out that top 20. Still about 16 cars to go. Justin Mullins, David Collins, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, Thad Miller with Riley Laverne in 24th. 25th, Chris Max with Jimmy Sox in 26th. Dylan Disbrow, 27th with John Buell in 28th. 30th and 29th, Max Cost. Steven, I'm going to butcher this name again. Aguiar, I think I said it right. I really don't know. I really have no idea. Cole Jarrett in 31st. Wade Palmer in 32nd. 33rd, Trenton Collins with Teresa Spiker in 34th. 35th will be Benjamin Richards. And rounding out this massive field is the 36th of Randy 00. Actually, we have two more cars out there on the racetrack. One not taking the grid. We had Britt McGee. So Kobe Collins is going to round out the field. Randy Swale in the 36th position. So there you go. That's through your field, and lights are out on the pace car. Tell you what, I'm glad they gave me an extra pace lap here tonight. A lot of trucks out here on the racetrack. Rick Fagone going to lead them into turn 1. And we've got them side by side all the way back to 36th position here tonight. If you can't tell, my graphics card is crying. Lights are out on the pace car, so we are going to pull off this time off. And Rick Fagone's going to lead him into turn 1. There goes the pace car. Let's get ready for race number 5, presented by VRX Simulators. We're live and racing VSRL SET Truck Series live in Atlanta. Trouble there pressing the correct button. Leading lap number 1 is going to be the number 10 of Rick Fagone. I apologize for hitting the wrong button there. So many buttons to push here on VSPEED. But the most important button is that gas pedal. And Rick Fagone knows where it is. He takes over the pole, keeps the lead for 2 laps now. As the number 199 of Mark Math trying to peek to the inside. The 51 of Morgan Cook on the outside with Kai Shappert. Shappert trying to push the 51 up there. And they're 2 by 2 all the way back here to 20th position. Getting into the wall there at the start of this race was the number 74 of Hennings. Had a little trouble there at the start. He's since moved to the inside line. We're moving on board here with the number 74 after that slight little touch there with the wall. You ever wonder what it feels like to be in a 200-mile-an-hour traffic jam? As they hit 186 going into that corner. Brian Hennings sitting back here in about the 16th position, getting passed on the outside just now by the 62 of Frank Zingen. But the outside, and we got trouble back here, and that looks like the 6. Oh, no, that's the 7, the 19 involved. Riley Laverne is in it. Dylan Disbro also involved. The 818. Stephen Aguirre. Benjamin Richards also in the 9. Let's go back on the instant replay and figure out what happened to these boys. This is coming off of turn 4. We're riding with the number 9 of Richards, and it looks like the 19 gets the outside wall there. We're going to go back one more time and take another look at it. There it is. He gets the wall, gets into the 121. And there's so many trucks behind him. He Chris Max has nowhere to go. He doesn't even know this is happening. He just gets ran over. Doesn't know what's happening. Bounces off the outside wall. And caution number 1 comes out on lap number 6 of the night. So Rick Vagone elects to stay out. We got a few drivers coming down pit road. Justin Ritchie amongst those. A few in front of him. David Collins not down pit road. But let's go back here to some of the drivers that did come down pit road. Jimmy Sox amongst one of those. Justin Ritchie, Kyle Stewart also coming in. Looks like the 5 of Phillips comes down as well. Morgan Cook elects to pit. Sean Langton. These drivers coming in to top off with fuel. We know how important fuel can be in these races if they go green, so probably not a bad strategy there for some of these drivers. But that puts the 51 of Morgan Cook down 17 spots from starting on the outside row here tonight. Back to 19th position. Well, it just occurred to me that I'm not currently in the Discord, so let's hop in there now and see if we can pull up a driver here while we're under caution. First of all, we need to find the right driver. This driver's come back down pit road to top off with fuel. Let's bring the machine of Justin Ritchie up here in the broadcast booth. Do you got a copy?
Copy. What's going on?
Number 55. It looks like you guys collectively as a team decided to bring it down pit road and top off with fuel. I know that's kind of a mixed strategy. You know you want to make it a little bit further than the rest, but now we're doubled up and there's a lot of cars in front of you.
Yeah, well, our strategy right now, not going to go too deep into it, is to stay clean. So whatever gets us away from the sketchiest parts of racing at these plate tracks is what we're going to try to do. So we'll see if it works. I don't know. I've had mixed results in my practice races this week, so we'll just see. Something to try.
34 of them out here on the racetrack. Good luck, Justin. I'm glad we got you up here in the booth, and go get them, man.
Heck yeah, thanks.
It's Justin Ritchie in the number 55. We're going to put him back down in orange speed as they get ready to take the grid and take the green flag for the second time here tonight. Rick Vagone up front here for the restart in the first position with lap number 9 ticking away. Back under green. VRX Simulations 175 is underway for the second time. And single filing out very quickly there. Back here to find the side-by-side, you've got Kevin Mulcahy, Frank Zingen on the outside, Donald Stewart. And a new name in here tonight, Cody Williams on the outside in the number 12, running in 8th. Actually picking up a couple spots there as we talked about him. Almost up to the 6th position as they cross the line. Good help there from a teammate just behind him. That's Richard Holland in the number 18. A lot of passing, a lot of side-by-side. There's the 86 of John Sanu on the outside. He's got some teammate help as well. Just behind him, Dakota Floyd, trying to figure out where they're going to go in this line. And with the blimp camera high above, here's a look at the number 10 leading this pack. And you have to go all the way back to 12th, 13th position Second group starting to catch up. That's on board now with the number 6 of Justin Mullins. So unfortunate there as we check in with the number 19 getting involved in that accident. We want to find Riley Laverne out there on the racetrack. If we can. There he is. So many trucks out here on the racetrack here tonight. But most importantly, bringing you driver cameras right here with the number 19. So this is his view. This is him live on the speedway in the 28th position, trying to work his way around the number 55 of Justin Ritchie currently. Back up towards the front, though, it's Nick Gardner starting to make some headway. He's worked his way into the top 5, and Gardner, starting back in the 10th position, found the inside line and hasn't looked back since. He has Mark Math in front of him. Kai Shepard doing a great job working his way through the field as well. Up to second position now. Kevin Mulcahy working on the outside of Nick Gardner for the top 5. 99 looks like it's got some speed in it here as it comes out of turn 2. So we've almost doubled the amount of clean laps that we ran to start this race. Or rather, we've matched it. We're going to double it, hopefully, as we come up on lap number 16. And Rick Fagone has led every single one of them that we've completed so far. Looking back at the 43 Toyota of Kai Shepard from the leader, Rick Fagone. And as they come off of turn 4, no one contesting the lead right now. Nick Gardner sitting side by side with Kevin Mulcahy, not able to get up to the front yet. But the 12 of Cody Williams is trying to push him up there. Back here at about the 15th position, it's Jacob Daniels behind a teammate. That's Dakota Floyd right in front of him. So we go on board here with the number 72. And you can see him taking that outside line. Gets very tight up there. You have to lift off. He's running up on the back of Floyd, but not quite pushing him. He's lifting the air off of that spoiler. That truck in front of him is punching a hole in the air, limiting that wind resistance. So it's very easy for Daniels to run right up on the back of the 24. As you see the 6 get a little bit loose there. And now they're starting to make a little bit of headway. But Daniels needs to get right up on the bumper of that 24. We want to have any hope of catching up to this lead pack. Floyd now able to clear the number 6 of Mullins for 13 and get back up to his teammate of John Sanu. Coming back up now to give draft to the 72. Floyd having a great start to this race. He's up 6 positions from where he began. The outside not able to get anything going just yet. And it's been side-by-side racing now for 21 laps. Rick Fagone has led 20 of them. 20 laps completed. Fagone coming back around, probably going to lead this time by as well as they tick him away. 114 laps is in the book. We've only read 21 of them. A lot of shuffling going on back there. We got a truck in the wall. That looks like the 13 of Thad Miller. We're going to stay green. But a big checkup in another truck, Collins. And it looks like the 94 of Pressey. They're still trying to wreck him. Big split here on the field now because of that checkup. Let's go back on the instant replay and see what happened. We can find the number 13 of Thad Miller as he comes out of turn 4. Looks like a truck checks up. That's the 707 going out to the outside. And this is right in front of some of the guys that started towards the front. Let's ride on board really quickly here with the 51 of Morgan Cook. If we can. And look at the checkup there. The 707 almost getting ran over again. But let's find the 51 of Cook. I'm gonna have to back it up a little bit more. There it is, right there. So this all happens right in front of the guy that's set outside the pole here tonight. Able to get around it. Let's go back on board now with the 51 and see how the race is going for him. You see Cook kind of playing both lines, currently in the 21st position. Started outside the pole. You can see that big NASCAR beefy wheel in front of him as he goes into 3 and 4 now. Direct drive wheel. Looks like it's a lot to handle here. And we've got a wreck here on the bottom. It looks like the 74 is involved. They're still trying to figure it out. The 44 was definitely involved. We're going to stay green again. Let's go back on the instant replay and figure out what happened. This is on lap 27. And looks like Mulcahy and Cody Williams get together. Comes right down in the nose of the 44. How he's able to hold on to that truck, I have no idea. I believe that happens right in front of the 24. See if we can go back and watch on board with him. And now let's see it from the onboard of the number 12. Mulcahy gets loose. Coming out of 2, runs up the wall there. But somehow we're able to stay green through all of that. 12 of Cody Williams out by his lonesome on the outside line now, sitting in the 6th position. This track has split apart. Let's go wide here on our blimp static camera. You can see the splits, drivers all over this racetrack. This is a 1.5 mile oval, and the leader's just now coming across the line. You can see Rick Fagone across that start finish line down at the bottom of your screen. That's how far the splits have gotten, and you've got about 2.5 seconds separating the 818 from this second pack. He has the 63 of Max Cost in the 10th position, just behind him. too much further back. It's Dylan Disbro. In the number 7. There's an onboard there with the number 7 now as he gets passed on the inside by Morgan Cook. Stuck up there by himself, left out to dry. See if he can get back down here in line. He's got quite a few trucks going around him. So to lead another lap, it's Rick Fagone, and 31 laps led this far. Outcast Motorsports has been dominating so far here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Coming up on green flag pit stops, though, as we wind it down. It's going to get tough. Green flag pit stops at this racetrack. If you're used to the old Atlanta, you wanted to enter at about midway through 3 and 4. Now, you're almost checking down at the entrance of 3 to report to these drivers that you're coming down pit road. It's going to be tough. Nick Gardner sitting in the 3rd position. He's had a stellar day, running consistent, up 7 positions. Biggest mover of the race, though. Well, that's the number 47 of John Buell. He's up to 12th after starting 28th, just in front of the outside pole sitter of Morgan Cook. And John Buell is having a stellar day here tonight in the 47. Trying to find a lane to go with. Might have got himself shuffled out here. Moves up to the outside, and now Morgan Cook fills that window. 47 stuck on the outside. The 63 of Cost is not able to get the 818 going, and this second group catches up to him. They have a long way to go. 3.5, 4.5 seconds from the 818 up to the 18. Cost going to the outside now, trying to find a window of opportunity. Doesn't look like he has the run. And now Morgan Cook fills in another slot. Unfortunately, not the next-gen car, so he's not able to get the pass. Now has the 86 of John Sanu on the back bumper. And look at the metallic. You can see the metal flake in that machine. That's how close they're racing here in Atlanta. But trying to catch up to this second group, new leader to the front pack. You've got the 818 being pushed by the 24, who tags the apron there for a second. Dakota Floyd now going to the inside. He's going to have the 51 of Morgan Cook pushing now. Out ahead of him. That's what 4.5 seconds looks like to Richard Holland. Holland in the 8th position, 38 laps into this race, and we have to be coming up on green flag pit stops. I'd say they're in their fuel window within a couple laps. But a change for the lead now. The 199 of Mark Math is going to lead a lap. Let's go back on our instant replay and figure out where this pass for the lead happened. Math gets up on the back bumper of Fagone and gets underneath of him. Moves him up the racetrack, coming out of 2. And there he goes for the lead. Fagone able to recover very quickly. Gets back in line there in front of Nick Gardner. And Math coming around to lead another lap, second time around. Now Alphagone peeking to the inside, takes it all the way to the apron, and they're checking up to go down pit road. Here they come now into the entrance of pit road. You've got Fagone, Math, Gardner, the 62 in there as well of Zengen, Williams, Holland. I believe that's the 24 Floyd. Math having a little trouble getting back out there to the outside to find his position. Actually getting past as they went into the entrance of pit road. That hands over the lead to Donald Stewart, who is also bringing it down. Brian Hennings just behind him. So down and away here for the number 10. He's going to win the battle off of pit road. Math loses 3 spots. Gardner picks up 1. And now Morgan Cook out there to the lead. Has a lot of teammates behind him in this tandem of cars. Orange Speed staying out here. A few of drivers are going to come down pit road. Looks like the 47 of John Buell is going to lead them down for this third group rather. Justin Mullins in as well. The 88 getting a little loose. That's Cole Jarrett almost getting into the back of Mullins. But he's able to get it woed up just in time. Now Cook's coming around for about 4 laps past the first pit stops. Remember, Morgan Cook deep in that pack, probably saved a little bit more fuel, but they're going to run another one. Staying out now for 4 laps past the rest of the drivers. Back to the lead now for the 51 of Morgan Cook. He started outside the lead. He's back in the front row. On the outside, just behind him, is Nicholas Pressey. And maybe some drivers going to bring it down pit road this time by. Pressey stuck on the outside. Not this time around. No takers. Remember, this is the group that came down pit road and topped off with fuel, so they're kind of looking smart now as we've went green for about 35 laps. Driver who had some troubles on pit road, that's the 63 of Max Koss, serving a penalty now. Unfortunately, going to drop a lap down for the 63 after getting speeding on pit road. Down and away now for the 63 truck. So back on board here with the 51. If you want to know what it feels like to lead this race, let's go on board with Morgan Cook. So a big gap back here. You can see how spread out this field is after those pit stops. We're talking about a pretty solid gap. Here's the tail end of this lead pack. That's Trenton Collins' 11th position in the number 4. And Thad Miller back here, about 21 seconds off. 13 cars a lap down, and looks like Thad Miller is going to bring it down pit road this time by. A little heavy on the brakes here. Looks like he got it wound up in time. Nicholas Pressey takes over the lead. This second group coming down pit road. So nice and slow on the entry to pit lane. Morgan Cook leads this tandem down pit road. Yeah, Sean Langton, Justin Ritchie, Kyle Stewart, Ross Phillips, Stephen Aguiar. If I've butchered that every time, I'm sorry. Randy Saleh. Trent Collins. Kobe Collins. Coming back out on the racetrack. But maybe to lead his first lap of the night, Jimmy Sox from 26th to first. Now he brings it down pit road. And taking back over the lead. Well, taking over the lead, rather. You've got a side-by-side battle here. With a few different trucks in front of Nick Gardner. Sox leading another time by. Sox actually pulling it down pit road. Donald Stewart. Sox is gonna blink out. Maybe falls out of the race. Not exactly sure what happened to the 01. He's back out now. But it's side by side for the lead. Jimmy Sox down pit road. Donald Stewart's going to take it over. He's now side by side with a lap down truck of Kevin Mulcahy. Timing and scoring is loving 36 trucks out on the racetrack tonight. And a great job with the side draft to keep that lead. Using those lap trucks to his advantage and keeping Nick Gardner at bay as we go on board here with the 16. So not able to take over the lead. The 78 doing a great job pinching down here, getting a little bit of side work from the 99 of Mulcahy. The 29, I do believe, of Wade Palmer is leading this tandem of trucks. Just a little off on the strategy. Got themselves behind. They are on the lead lap, but barely holding on here with the leaders right beside it. Now a push from the 74 of Hennings. Ryan Hennings on the outside trying to get the work going with the 78. Doesn't quite get it that time around. Remember, Hennings started back in the 15th position, had that early brush with the wall on lap 1, has since recovered. He's up here in the top 5, fighting on the outside with the leaders. Doesn't have the draft. The 62 of Zinjan now going to pull up in front. And truck getting sideways in front of him. That's the number 6 of Disbro, or rather Mullins. Back on our answer replay, this happens right in front of the leaders. Gonna back it up a little bit more. There it is right there. He gets sideways right in front of the lead pack. On board here with Donald Stewart. He's led 7 laps here tonight. Coming up on another lap truck. That's the number 9. Trying to get off the racetrack. They have to lift a little bit on that inside groove. And that allows Zinjan to push the 78 up in front of these 2 lap trucks. Now the 29. Sliding up the racetrack a little bit. Wade Palmer on board with him now. He scored 1 lap down. He would be the lucky dog if a caution comes out. Hopefully not coming out here in this lead pack because a lot of trucks are involved in it. So it's important to remember the self-control that it takes to not get too crazy. When you have a run, it's very easy to get that sense of, I can lead this thing, I can pass people really easily. But this truck is unpredictably loose, it's unpredictably fast. And when you're 7, 8, 9 spots back from the lead, it all really boils down to throttle control. Not running over that guy in front of you. Predicting when he's gonna make mistakes, maybe tag the apron, have to lift, get too close, pinch. There's about a million combinations of everything that can get in the way here. But what's not getting in the way? Frank's engine. He's trying to get around the 78 to take the lead from the outside line. The 62 goes to the front with great help here by the 74. Ryan Hennings pushes them by. Not enough, though, as they come out of 4. 78 going to lead another time by. Don't look now, though. Just behind this pack of cars, you've got the 51 of Morgan Cook, the 8 of Langton, the 5 of Phillips, the 7 of Disbro. These guys starting to work their magic and get back up here to the front. And you can hear the throttle control by the 7 to keep it off the back bumper as they come out of 4. Watch him work the wheel into 1. Down the backstretch, side by side, Zenjin takes over the lead. Might have it this time by, gets a good shove from the 74. No, he won't. Looks like Stewart's gonna lead another one. That was close. Zenjin does get it that time by. We're talking about hundredths of a second. Almost a little contact as they come out of 2. Zenjin really hugging the inside on the 78. Now the 28 is starting to get a little tight as they go into 3. Mulcahy just behind him. These lap trucks starting to get ill handling. This could affect the lead pack in that inside line. Mulcahy starts to get a little loose. Sorry, I clicked the wrong truck there. We're looking for the number 99, I believe. There we go. They come off of turn 2. It's been a trade for the lead between Zenjin and Stewart. Going into turn 3, good shove there for the 62, but the 78's going to rebound, and now on the inside line, it's going to be neck and neck at the line. Stewart, I think, gets that one. These guys trading hundredths of a second as they go across. Starting to approach that window again. Let's go back here and right on board with your points leader. That's Ross Phillips in the 5. Right up on the dash of the number 5 right now, sitting behind the number 8 of Sean Langton. That's last week's winner. 2-time winner, as I was corrected. And let's talk about those points as we bring them up on your screen here. So you see the 8 of Langton sitting back in the 4th position with 2 wins. Ross Phillips is winless this season, leading the points. Phillips has been able to maintain a 6.15 for an average finish here in the season so far into race 5. So that's been the difference maker. Nick Gardner just right around that same average. Second in points, 1 point behind, and a truck off the racetrack here. If we can politely get those points off of there. That was Stewart who got shoved out of line. Back on the instant replay to figure out what happened to Stewart. He gets a little contact there with a 41. He gets shoved out of line down to the apron. One more time for those that weren't looking. Let's back it up a little bit more. Maybe a little arrow loose. He didn't actually get touched. A change for the lead now goes into the hands of Morgan Cook. And a little connection issue there for a millisecond. We are having some connection issues, I believe. I think it's settled back out. We're still green. For those of you that had any problems with buffering, I would like to apologize. Just refresh the page. Morgan Cook takes over the lead. As we had a little blip there with the connection issue. And truck getting really loose back there. Not sure who that was. I think it was the 19 of Laverne. This pack's starting to cycle back up, accordion back together. See your pole sitter, Rick Fagone, sitting back there in the 16th position. Underneath all this carnage, we've kept it clean and green. We're past the halfway point here tonight. Sean Langton taking over the lead now. Side by side for the front, it's all orange speed. You've got one truck down on the bottom. That's the 74 of Hennings. VRX Simulations truck. But a lot of work going on here. Fast approaching our second round of green flag pit stops. But as we approach that second round, we're going to take a quick word from our sponsors. You're watching the VSRL Truck Series, Southeast Tutoring, the VRX Simulators 175 here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to take that side by side, and we'll be back right after this.
I played a couple of simulators and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving, it feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Here live, VRX Simulators 175. We're under caution. We had some problems here on the front straightaway. Let's go back on our instant replay and figure out what happened. Looks like the 41 gets involved in that, so let's find... That's Kyle Stewart, I do believe. Let's go back on the instant replay and see what he saw. He gets tagged there by Nick Gardner, maybe, I think. Gardner involved in that, gets a little bit of right side damage. Only 3 trucks maybe involved in this, but let's go back on the instant replay and see if Gardner gets into the back of the 41. He just gets arrow loose. He gets into the back of him after the fact, but he just gets arrow loose. It's right on board here with the 41 of Stewart. Math comes down and crowds him. That upsets the truck. So Math actually coming down across the nose of the 41. But everybody came down pit road. Morgan Cook all the way back through the field. Everyone comes down to get repairs. Max Cost actually taking an early hiatus from this race here tonight into the 36th position. He goes a lap down. He was going to get that lap back, but he's going to elect to take an early hiatus here. 51 of Morgan Cook is the leader here as it all cycles out. And while we have a chance, let's bring up a driver. See if we can talk to the number 7 of Dylan Disbrow. If we can find him. There he is. Dylan Disbrow, it's Bradley Cooper up in the VSPEED booth. Do you got a copy?
I sure do. What's going on?
Well, we saw the carnage there. We've been able to kind of avoid the yellows. It's not really been clean, per se, but it has stayed green. You're sitting here in the 6th position. You're up 21 spots. Got a real shot at winning this thing.
Oh, yeah. Excited. We've been trying to work on these tires, trying to stay at the back for a while, but start happening. Fronty kind of went filthy way up to the front. So now we're here, so we're ready to go.
All right, well, back to green here for the number 7. Good luck out there.
Thank you, sir.
In our Motorsports driver, Dylan Disbrow, in the number 7. Getting ready to go back green. Morgan Cook going to lead them into turn 1. We're going to go back live for the 3rd time here tonight. The 51, the 5, the 62, the 74, and the 7. The top 5, the 55 of Justin Ritchie's 6th position. Green flag back out in the air, and we're live at Atlanta. And some of these drivers not getting a great restart, or some of those drivers maybe sandbagging a little bit, trying to stay out of trouble. But the 51 of Morgan Cook going to lead this time around. He's going to get number 16 led with Ross Phillips on the back bumper. 62 of Frank Zingen down on the inside now. On board with him. He started back in 14th. He's up 11 positions from where he began this race. He has the 74 of Brian Hennings on the inside line. Looks like they're going to probably work well together. In the 51 out of shape, in the 51 going to allow the 5 of Phillips to lead a lap this time by. Might drop down to the inside. There's your pole sitter on the outside, making a big move. That's Rick Fagone in the 10. Now moving up to the outside, the 51 of Cook gets way too high. And they're having to check up. Now the 44 all over the back bumper. Some more checking up, 3 wide just behind them. That all settles down. The 24 of Floyd goes up through the middle, gets around the 51 of Cook, who hits the outside wall. Unfortunate there for the 51. But change for the lead. Brian Hennings takes it over. .74 up front now for the first lap led, about to get number 2. He has Dylan Disbro on the outside from second position, though. Looking to take that spot away as they go into 1. Justin Ritchie all over the back bumper of the 74, trying to give him a shove. Here comes the 12 of Williams to give a push to the 7. Disbro has some help. Big help as they come off a 4. Disbro's going to lead his first lap. Now dropping to the inside, leaving the 12 out to dry. Nick Gardner moves up to the outside from the 5th spot. Now playing both roles, Disbro moves back up to the outside. The 5 of Phillips drops down. And a lot of shuffling here in the top 5. Action all the way through this field, side by side, all the way back to the 26th position. And Williams with a big push into 1. Look at the shove down the backstretch. Disbro probably has them both clear as they drop to the inside line. Great work by the 12 to get the 7 around him. Now moves up a little bit too high. Let's go back on board with the 7 of Disbro. Coming by to lead another lap with the 12 of Williams all over the back bumper. That outside line starting to reshape, but Riley Laverne having some problems again back here. And a truck gets sideways. That's the 0-1 of Jimmy Sox hitting the outside wall. And a yellow flag does come out. Debris on the racetrack. Caution number 4 of the night. 3, rather. We could see the 19 getting loose through the dog leg, and the 01's going to finish it off, put a little bit more debris on the racetrack. Sox has almost had enough. He's going to bang every fender off of that truck. He can't steer it. Left front wheel is not turning. You can hear it. And it looks like the 01's just going to park it here for the night. Let's go back on our instant replay and figure out what happened here. Let's see if we can find the number 19. So many trucks out here on this racetrack here tonight. Laverne gets way outside, hits the outside wall. That causes a checkup in front of him. The 01 has nowhere to go. Maybe runs to the outside a little high. He brings it down pit road. Let's back it up one more time here on the onboard. gets into the outside wall on his own and throws it sideways back into Laverne. So caution number 3 out on the racetrack here tonight. Dylan Disbro, your leader. Brian Hennings, Justin Ritchie, Frank Zingen, and Ross Phillips, the top 5. We got Nick Gardner, your pole sitter, Rick Fagone, John Buell in the 47, Todd Cleveland, and Randy Swale in the 00, rounding out your top 10. Gonna take another quick commercial break. You're watching the VRX Simulators 175 live from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're gonna put that in all caps for you. Let's make that correct. But we'll be back right after this as we go side by side.
I played a couple of simulators and this was like very responsive. Especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Oh, big wiggle. And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Green flag is back out. And Dylan Disbro leads him into turn 1. It's Disbro, Ritchie, Phillips, Zingen, and Hennings for the top 5. Hennings on the outside now, trying to get something going. Disbro trying to hold on. He has a 55 of Ritchie all over the back bumper here. Now Disbro moves to the outside, allowing Ritchie to come down to the inside. Change for the lead for the 55. So Ritchie leading his first lap here tonight. He has Ross Phillips, the points leader, right on his back bumper. Frank Zingen trying to find someone to work with. He might have the 7 of Disbro. And almost 3 wide as they come out of the tri-oval, the quad oval rather. That's a 00 of Swale. Making some moves down to the bottom. Swale is up 25 positions where he began this race. 22 spots gained for the 7 of Disbro. It is getting crazy back here as we approach 20 to go. We're actually past 20 to go. Back here in the mix, this is in the 19th position. 17th now, Mark Matt started up in 3rd. He's currently back here outside the top 10, trying to find his way around. A little tag there on the apron for the number 88 of Cole Jarrett just in front of him. They're side by side all the way back to the 20th spot. Some movement going on now. The 62 has a partner. Frank Zinjan gets up on the outside of Justin Ritchie going into 1. He's on the outside of Phillips. Disbro not giving any help. Hennings peeking to the middle. Down the backstretch now, side by side for the 3rd position. Nick Gardner trying to follow suit with that inside line. About 15 laps to go. As they cross the line. No help here for the 62. Disbro gets way out of line here as they go into 3. The 7 of Disbro is going to lose a ton of spots. Actually tags the wall as they enter 3 and 4. Stuck up there on the outside. Almost hits the outside wall through the quad. Still 3 wide. Drops down into a hole next to Pressey. Falls back to 17th position. Meanwhile, in the front, no one contesting Justin Ritchie. Phillips doing a great job. Hennings trying to push the 62 of Zinjan around. On the outside, it's 0.07 of a second for the lead. 14 laps to go. Checking in with your pole sitter. He's right next to the guy that started outside of him. They are 1 and 2 to the start of this race. Rick Fagone getting a good push here from the 44 of Todd Cleveland. Back up to the bumper of Nick Gardner. Zinjan falls off. He falls back to 5th. Now Fagone up to the 5th position. As he tries to get pulled around by that inside line. The 00 gets loose. He's into the 78, and we've got problems. Contact on turn 2. Morgan Cook's involved. Big wreck coming out of turn 2. That's going to set off our 4th caution of the night. And the front end of the 51 is totaled. Here they go into turn 1. I don't know if there was contact there, if the 00 got loose and then slid back to the 51. The 78 checks up a little bit there as well. Let's go on the instant replay here. On board with the 00. He just gets unpredictably loose, comes down into the 78. The 18's involved in that as well. Right on board here with Richard Holland. He gets a piece of it into the wall. And how about the 8 of Langton down there on the apron? I believe he hits the inside wall. He does. Gets a little piece there from somebody else as well. So smoking and broken here for the number 8. 4 cautions, 18 lead changes here tonight. They've done a pretty good job getting around Atlanta Dega, as I like to call it. VRX Simulators 175 is far from over. We've got about 9 laps to go, and when we go back green, it'll be about 7 to go. Far, far from over. If you're just joining us on VSPEED, this is not a flex, but we just recently got monetized, so we'd like to thank everyone that's ever subscribed to this channel for helping us out to get to that goal. We very much appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. And for everyone that's ever made that possible, for every league that's ever asked for us to broadcast and for our services, we very much thank you. From all of us here at VSPEED, from Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Alec Martinez, Connor Horn, and myself, Bradley Cooper, we thank you very, very much for allowing us to have the privilege to do what we love to do and to put these races on for you. It's been a great journey. I know that I've came from a different background. I used to work mechanics, and back in the day, I worked for a Ford dealership for 9 years. And it really is a dream come true to be able to do this and bring this to you guys. So again, thank you very, very much. And I would like to thank Adam Baker for the opportunity, personally, for putting me on as a broadcaster to bring this VSRL SET Truck Series all season long. But outside of that, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. I will plug that forever until my last breath here on VSPEED. And make sure you hit that notification button so you never miss a single race when we go live here at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 o'clock Eastern Time is the scheduled broadcast for the Southeast Tutoring Truck Series. So the VRX Simulators 175 about to get back underway for the 5th time tonight. Justin Ritchie, Ross Phillips, Brian Hennings, Nick Gardner, and Ricky Fagone. The top 5. That pole sitter on the inside row just behind Brian Hennings. Unfortunate for the 51 getting caught up in that accident. He shuffled back to the 21st position. But the flagman has the green flag back up in the air. He's getting ready to wave it into the Geico restart zone. We're back live at Atlanta. And a truck up into the wall there. That's the 13 of Thad Miller coming out of turn 4. But back up to the front, it's the 55 of Justin Ritchie with Ross Phillips, Brian Hennings, and Nick Gardner on the inside. No one contesting the lead. 7-8 laps to go, roughly. We're in that halfway in between, and a lot of movement back here for the 12th position. Nicholas Pressey on the outside of Dylan Disbro, who's trying to find his way back to the front. You know these leaders are about to make a move, but this second group, they have the head of steam coming into one. Big move here on the outside with the 44. Truck into the wall, we've got a yellow. The 18 of Richard Holland over on his lid. The 00 of Swale involved as well. There's a little check up here in front of the 18. The 00 comes right down to the side of the 18. Not clear and runs right into the door. 18 pops the motor, not able to coast back to pit road. Holland's going to have to tow. That's unfortunate there for the 18. Go back one more time. I want to see this on board with Saleh. Get back on board here with the 00. So that brings out caution number 5 of the night. 18 lead changes. Justin Ritchie is your leader. Ross Phillips, Brian Hennings, Nick Gardner, and Todd Cleveland. As we saw some moves starting to develop here towards the end of this race. Let's see if we can find the number 16 of Nick Gardner down here. Nick Gardner, it's Bradley Cooper up in the VSPEED booth. Do you got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Well, we saw some craziness happen. It looked like a run was developing just before that caution with the 44. Are you looking for some opportunities here with this, what appears to be a green-white checker?
I'll be completely honest with you. I just want to survive and will probably end up just staying in line. I got a little damage in that big one a couple cautions ago. So I still got like 1 minute of repair. I wasn't sure how bad it was, but I didn't want to waste my fast repair. So yeah, I got what I got here on out. Just trying to finish this thing out. Hopefully a top 5.
Well, I know that you're separated by 1 point here for the points lead. That guy is right in front of you here on this restart. So, Nick Gardner, good luck, man. Weave your way through it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So there's the number 16, currently in the 4th position here for the restart on the outside row. As we get set to run them back, the 55 of Ritchie going to lead him into turn 1. Your points leader on the outside of him. Close battle for second, and I tell you what, it's been close here all the way through from the start. It was pretty clean there for about 70 laps. We had green flag pit stops, almost got to our second round of them. But now all bets are off as we have what would essentially be a natural green-white checker here tonight at Atlanta. VRX Simulators 175, the VSRL SET Truck Series about to conclude its race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pace car going to pull off this time by Justin Ritchie, Ross Phillips side by side into 1. Can the field hold it together and get back to the white flag? We're going to find out. Let's see what the flag man has up in the air. It's a green flag, and here we go, back racing. Not a great restart there for the 55. The 5 of Phillips almost to the outside, tucks back in front of Brian Hennings. And the top 10 shuffling all around, trying to get some positions gained. On board here with Nick Gardner, looking back at this carnage behind him. 2 laps to go as they come around turn 4. Justin Ritchie, your leader. A big move to the outside by the 47 of Buell. Trying to get something going on this outside line. It hasn't worked yet. The 62 now of Zengen moves up. The 44 of Cleveland now taking note. They come out of turn 4 to take the white flag side by side for second position. Frank Zengen trying to take away the lead. White flag is out. One more time around, presented by VRX Simulators. Who's going to get it here at the line? Justin Ritchie down to the bottom. He has a great push by Ross Phillips coming out of turn 3. Moves up the track a little bit. He's going to be able to hold on to it. Dives all the way to the bottom. Frank Zinjan to the outside, but it's going to be the winner. The 55 of Justin Ritchie as they wreck across the start-finish line. And Justin Ritchie and Ross Phillips are able to hold off the hard-charging 62. And Todd Cleveland trying to push around. Nick Gardner falls back to 7th. And it looks like your winner here tonight is going to be the 55 of Justin Ritchie as he brings it around to the front stretch to burn it down. Post-race interviews with your top 3 as Justin Ritchie tries to finish that motor off. You're watching the VSRL SET Truck Series live on VSPEED. Your winner here tonight, Justin Ritchie, taking care of the back tires. We'll be back right after this.
I played a couple of simulators, and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff. The motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make me feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Back here live, the VRX Simulators 175 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It has concluded the 175 miles here tonight for the 114 laps of race number 5. We're catching up down here on pit road with some of these drivers that put together a great race. We went officially the exact distance with some clean flag runs, and I have to say, kudos to this 36 truck field for being able to do that, because this track with its repaved surface has been rather tough. It's been a change of pace. But without further ado, let's bring up your third place finisher. It's Frank Zinjan in the number 62. And Frank, it looked like you tried to move there on the outside. You had a hard push there from Todd Cleveland. It was enough to get you third, but not quite enough. And maybe if you had one more lap.
Yeah, he got loose coming out of 2 there, and gave me a good push into 3, but washed up the track, so I really didn't have anybody pushing me there, but appreciate it. It was a good push.
It was. It looked good. You were one of the few guys that actually tried to make the move very early. Once the 44 saw that, it looked like he was all on board, but a lot of guys looked like they were content with staying in line.
Yeah, I was just talking to those guys. They're all teammates, so they weren't going to break up. And it's hard to tell who's teammates in the league, but they were telling me they got orange banners or something on their trucks. But with you got this many cars out here, it's hard to tell who's a teammate and who's not.
I think if you knocked on the bumper of that 16 a little bit harder, he might have went with you. That is a Outcast Motorsports truck, so maybe you could have convinced Nick Gardner. But outside of that, great race here tonight. I'm really surprised and impressed that many trucks went that clean. We had green flag pit stops. We had a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really appreciate them putting this on, because it's a lot of clean racing out here for these guys.
So, Frank, you started all the way back in 14th. You worked your way through the field, and once you got up there in the top 5, it was hard for you to leave it. You come home 3rd. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my Penny Stackers teammates, my wife for letting me do this, my 3 dogs that hang out with me while I race, and then the VSRL guys for putting this on.
We appreciate your time. That's Frank Zingen in the number 62, your 3rd place finisher here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Take care, Frank.
Thanks.
So moving on up through the field, we have our 2nd place finisher, Ross Phillips, in the number 5. And Ross, with one heck of a push, you kept the 55 of Richie in check. You kept him up front, and he led, I believe, about 16, 17 laps there. I might have to go back and count that, but you kept him up front, and you made sure he stayed there.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of came in late there on everything you were saying, but yeah, working with the teammate, need to get him a win. I think he was right on the line of points there. So the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 laps, I told him I was probably going to dump him for the win or whatever, but he was saying that he's right there on the cut line, that he needs a win, and I was like, man, I could, I like the wins and I like fighting for it, and I don't like just giving things away, but at the end of the day, I mean, reality, I'm probably going to point in anyway, so do what we can for the team.
Well, you set out here with starting 17th position, a little out of the ordinary, but Atlanta, with the repave, it really boils down to running in the draft and just finding the right partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Qualifying, I don't know what the hell happened during qualifying. I really don't know. I had the guys on the team. I was like, what did I do wrong? I'm way back here. Holy. But yeah, this place, I mean, we ran it last season, I think, with the series and or the league, I should say. And we found that, you could really hold the bottom line all the way through a run, but it slowed down. And even a single truck by itself, as long as they saved any kind of tire, could run all the way to the front from 30th place up on the high side by themselves. So we were trying.
Luckily, you're able to come down pit road there with about, I believe it was 20 to go or so, and get some fresh tires on it. Didn't really have a long run after that point. Ross, sitting pretty in points, and you're going to get an even bigger gap there over Nick Gardner with his 7th place finish tonight.
Ouch.
Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out?
That's how far back he. I thought he was right behind Brian. Yeah, just the Orange Speed team. Obviously, you guys for putting on the broadcast. About it. It's a week in, a week out thing. I don't have a list like Morgan does.
Well, I tell you what, unfortunate there for the 51 getting caught up in that accident, but you guys looked pretty strong there tonight. Congratulations on 2nd place.
Appreciate it. We didn't have a cat jump on the keyboard this week, huh?
Yeah, that's
learned my lesson. Turned it off.
Good for you, man. Well, I appreciate your time, Ross. We'll see you next week, maybe.
All right, man.
2nd place finisher here tonight. That's Ross Phillips in the number 5. Without further ado, I know this guy's excited. We're going to bring up Justin Ritchie. Justin, you kept talking to me about how I could bring you up during cautions. I could bring you up while you're a green flag. I don't need to do that because tonight you're the winner of this race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and you have the complete floor to say whatever you want and do whatever you want. It is yours.
Yeah, Dave, thank you. First off, I have to give a massive thank you to Ross and Brian right there. Without them being behind me, I wouldn't have won. Massive shout out and big thank yous to Sean, Morgan, Ryan, Kyle. Going through my list so I don't forget anybody. Garrett, Adam, doing the amazing job at admins. Just everybody part of Orange Speed, VSPEED, any sponsor. Just so thankful. This was not expected in the least, and just glad I could be here.
Well, I know it's not expected because usually guys wait till the end to thank anyone. Justin, you won the race, man. Tell us how you did it.
Like I said, got lucky. Ross and Brian were there. It was just the right place, right time. And Ross is a lot better than me, and so is Brian. And they were like, "Yeah, we'll just push you to the win." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I wasn't going to probably make the playoffs without it. So very, very grateful for all those guys. But yeah, just right place, right time. Didn't get caught up in any of those unlucky wrecks like I normally do. and yeah, this was able to finish it off. Very, very lucky, but we'll take it.
Started back in the 13th position. You led 22 laps here tonight. Amazing drive. I know Atlanta has gotten tough with the way that you have to race this place now. It's almost like a Daytona or Talladega. Can you take us through how great it is to have somebody behind you that's a teammate?
Oh, I mean, it's a world of difference. I ran a couple of these races throughout the week. Shout out to VRX for putting those up. They're very helpful. But there is a massive difference in somebody that you can communicate with, especially on these plate tracks where, you know, your only chance is to work with somebody. You know, you can't go out here and run your own line and be competitive at all. You have to be with somebody, and just having somebody to talk with, talk through your line. You know, if they're not comfortable with you doing something, you get to hash that out real quick instead of it becoming a problem later on in the race. So helps you and them succeed.
Well, you had a great pusher. You had a great run. You're able to come home in first position. And Justin, you already thanked him, but if there's anybody else you'd like to add to that list, go ahead and shout him out.
Well, I might as well add you, Mr. Cooper, for doing an awesome job. I can't wait to go watch this broadcast. The previous ones haven't been too favorable, so can't say I've watched all of it, but this one I might have to.
Might have to go back and watch every single lap here on VSPEED.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Justin, we appreciate your time, and I hope we get you back up here in the broadcast booth. I think we'll do that under caution, but hopefully we get to do it up here on the podium. Winner here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Justin Ritchie in the 55. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there's your top three here tonight for the VRX Simulators 175. Let's take you through that final finishing order presented by VRX, Bald Head Islands, Orange Speed, SET Tutoring. Let's take you through it. There's your top three: Justin Ritchie, Ross Phillips, and Frank Zingen. Brian Henning's going to come home in fourth position with Todd Cleveland fifth, Mark Math in the sixth position, Nick Gardner seventh, falls all the way back there on that restart. Cole Jarrett, impressive finish there for the 88, coming home in eighth. Ninth, John Buell and Rick Fagone, the pole sitter, rounding out your top 10. 11th spot will belong to Nicholas Pressey with Stephen Aguirre in 12th, Dakota Floyd 13th, 14th Kai Shepard. You've got the 99 of Kevin Mulcahy with a great recovery here tonight after falling a lap down at 15th. 16th position, Kobe Collins. 12th car of Cody Williams brings it home in 17th. Morgan Cook outside the pole falls all the way back to 18th. Sean Langton 19th, and John Sanu rounding out the top 20. 21st is Benjamin Richards, Donald Stewart 22nd, 23rd Dylan Disbrow, Thad Miller in 24th, Jacob Daniels 25th here tonight, 26th Trent Collins, Riley Laverne with a lot of struggles in the 19 and 27th, Jimmy Socks with a lot of damage 28th, Randy Saleh in 29th, and Kyle Stewart unfortunately in 30th. Rounding out your field here tonight, we'll have Justin Mullins, Richard Holland, unfortunately back in the 32nd position, 33rd, David Collins, Chris Max, 34th, Wade Palmer, 35th, Max Koss, 36th, and a few trucks not coming out on the field here tonight. We had Garrett Helmlinger and Adam Tips up in the booth, Brent McGee and Teresa Spiker electing not to come out on the racetrack here tonight. So that's going to pretty much do it for us here for the SCT Truck Series. Southeast Tutoring Monday Night Truck Series goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can hit that subscribe button here on the YouTube for VSPEED so you never miss a single race. But it was the number 55 here tonight, getting it done. Justin Ritchie with a great push by Ross Phillips to take the win. Outside of that, I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We're going to go racing again at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Bring that schedule up on your screen now. We've got Myrtle Beach Speedway. Never been there. Never seen it. So it should be interesting. If I've never seen it, these guys, I guarantee, haven't seen it either. it's going to get good for the VSRL Truck Series. Outside of that, for everybody at VSPEED, Adam Baker, Alec Martinez, Eddie Smith, Connor Horn, and myself, Bradley Cooper, signing off here tonight on VSPEED. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of your week.
I played a couple of simulators and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Mr. Marty.